You know, I started using Premiere Pro exactly when I started making videos for this channel. So I'm fairly a beginner compared to movie makers or videographers who dedicate their life creating videos or creating movies using Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, or After Effects. But as a beginner myself, I faced a lot of challenges. And one of the places that I relied on to learn more in this journey was YouTube. So I thought to myself, why not as a beginner create a video for those who just starting out using Premiere Pro. And this video is all about that. A tutorial from a beginner to the beginners. Let's just go ahead and watch the video that we're going to create today together. Come back, jump into Premiere Pro, and get started. You see that video is a short video with a couple clips, a couple cuts, and a nice music in the background. It might seem that creating something like that be hard and complicated using Premiere Pro, but I'm telling you this, it's not that hard. So let's just jump into Premiere Pro together and see how that's been created. Alright guys, let's open up the Premiere Pro now and see how it looks like when you first open it up. When you open up Premiere Pro, there is a home screen that has some information. For example, right here, there is a Build Your Skill tab that Adobe provides for you guys to learn a little bit more working with Premiere Pro. And then again, there's another place right here to learn more on the right side. But on the left side, there is a Home, Learn, Sync setting. Sync setting is when you're trying to use the settings that you have, which I'll show you in a second, in a project, and you're trying to use the same kind of template basically for a next project. And you can come here and start a new one, or use a different account as it says. And then let's go back to home. But the most important one right here is creating a new project or open up a project. When you're done with your project or your video and just close it out and save it somewhere on your either hard drive or computer, you can open that project if you have to do any revisions to it or add some more substances to the project. But for the sake of this video, we're just gonna go ahead and create a new project. So let's just go ahead and click on new project, and this window will pop up. In this window, you can name your project. And as you can see here in this tab, there's a location which you can determine where you want to save your project. For example, if I browse, I already created a folder for this video. I'm gonna open it up, and I usually save it on the Premiere folder because Premiere creates some backup when you work on a project, and I don't want a lot of folders and files in my main folder. So let's go ahead and select the folder and name this project as it is a video for Premiere. When you go down here, you don't really need to change any of these settings. These are already good. Scratch this and just setting. These are always good. Just make sure to have the same ones. This rendering playback, it depends on your computer and what kind of hard drive or graphic drive you have. For me, it looks good, and go ahead and hit OK. And the main window and the main editing window will open up. These four windows are the windows you'll most work with. When you try to import a project or import videos, it usually comes on the left bottom side right here, which is highlighted. Your timeline is the one next to it right here. When you insert a video or a music to your timeline, it will appear right here. And right here, which is highlighted, is usually going to be a preview of your video. And on the left top side is your effect control panel, or some other information related to the video you select. And on the ribbon on the top, there is a learning, assembly, editing, color effect, audio, graphics, and libraries. If you remember, we talked about syncing settings is when you create your own workspace and you can save it and sync it to the other projects, or when you open up a new project, you can sync it to your previous project. So let's go ahead and import some videos and music to create that video. To import media to your project, you can go on the bottom left side where it says import media to start, and you can either double click in it and this window will show up, or there's an easier way. If you open up your folder and go to where you have your media saved, and I can just drag and drop videos. So now you have one video in your import bin. If you keep doing the same thing and bring videos in, you will end up with a lot of files sitting right here, and it's hard to navigate through them. So let's go ahead and delete this one, and I'll show you an easier way to import stuff. If you right click right here, there's an option called new bin. This bin is basically a folder that you create in Premiere Pro, and you can, for example, have a video bin, a music bin, or if you're adding any effects, you can have effects bin. So let's go ahead and create a new bin and call it videos, and then let's go ahead and create another one called music. Let's open up videos, and then double click and go to that folder that I want to bring the videos from, which was this one. I will need this video, and this video. Why not? Let's bring this video, this one too, or this one. So I selected my videos, just holding down Control key and bringing the videos down. Select open, and it will import your files right into the bin you created. So you can use this back arrow key to go back to the main project folder, and you can again double click in there and then go to your videos. And so let's go ahead and import some music to this folder too. Just open the bin, double click in it, or you can go ahead and, since you know where your music is, bring your music in, just drag in and drop, and now you have a music here too. So be good for now. We have a couple videos and we have a music. Now that you have your videos and the music, let's go ahead and create that video. Let's go to the videos, and how you can import these to your timeline is, as it says here, drop the media here to create a sequence. So to create your sequence, you just click on a video you want and drag it and drop it in your timeline. So right here you have a timeline created. On the left side there's a video 1, video 2, video 3, and there's an audio 1, 2, and 3. You can add to these tracks by right clicking on the last one and adding one, or deleting one if you don't use it. Same with the audio tracks, you can just like add more or remove if you need to. And when you click on this video, on the top left side, this will appear. This is the effects control panel. Here you can see some video effects or some audio effects. Because this video was shot in 120 frames per second, let me just show you. It's a slow motion. The audio that is being recorded here is basically useless because it's not going to be played back. So what you can do is to right click on your sequence and click here on link, and these two are now not linked anymore, and you can delete your useless audio. So now you have a video which is 14 seconds long and just moves barely. So this is not good enough for creating a video. What you can do here is trimming this video to the portion that you want to use. To do that, you can either go to the place that the movement happens, like for example here, you can just click on this and drag in it, like here is good. What you can do is using C on your keyboard, or come down here and use a razor tool. Click on the razor tool, select where you want it to start and let it play, and right here is the end. You can select this razor tool and click on here again, and then go back to your selection tool, which is V, and click on this delete, click on that delete, and now you have this little sequence right here which starts like that. You can move this sequence on the timeline by just clicking on it and dragging it. You can move it to different tracks, and you can move it forward or backward. So because this is the first video that we brought in, we can go all the way to the beginning of the sequence and have it to be at 0, which that is, and just play it, and after it finishes, there's no more sequence, it goes back to the 0. That's how you can trim down your videos on the timeline But also, let's just delete this one. You could also go to that video, and when you double click on it here, it will appear here. You can, there's a couple ways to preview a video. You can go here and then just drag your mouse. I'm not clicking on anything, just hover over it and just like go left and right, you can see it. Or you could double click on it and it will appear here. Let's just go all the way back. So let's play, and you can see it's playing in slow motion. So what if I wanted to have just this portion of this video? Well, I could drag and drop it in my timeline, create a sequence, and use the razor tool and chop it off. Or I could also come here, double click, we have this video, go to where I wanted the video to start, select I on your keyboard, which is in, again let it play, right here, stop, and you can do out, which is O, or you could use these ones here, mark in and mark out. And now that you have a selected portion of the video, you can create that as a sequence. What you need to do is just drag this and drop it to your timeline. Let's go ahead and put it all the way back to the beginning of the sequence. And this is just that portion you selected. If you wanted to zoom into your timeline to work a little bit closer to your sequence, you can make it bigger with just dragging this back. Or if you want to like have all the videos in your timeline shown all together, you can just drag it out, and now you show almost like 2 minutes of your video that you don't have in that timeline. So let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. You could also click here and drag these up if you needed to like see them better. Also, you could always drag everything, hover over the midsection and drag them so you can change your views. For example, for myself, I like it to be like that and that. So now that we have one video, let's go ahead and bring another one. So this video, it starts from right and goes to the left. I would like to bring a video in that goes from right to the left again. This one, oh, this one, perfect. So it starts from right and goes to the left. Perfect. So I want to start from here, in, let it play. It focuses on the engine, and right there, out. So let's click on this and drag it to your timeline. Perfect. So let's play together. It goes here, then cuts. It looks good. You already have a little video. But let's go ahead and add some more videos to the timeline. In this video, if I drag it out, it's a zoom in and a zoom out. Oh, perfect. So let's start from here, in and out. Exactly before my hand shakes, I want to have it out. That's perfect. Let's bring this in as well. And perfect. Let's say I want to trim this video right there. I could use the razor tool. I could also go to my effect panel and have that out just a couple frames before what I have now. Or I could go to the timeline. When I hover over the end of the sequence, I'll see that arrow right there with a bracket. I could drag it and bring it back. Let's talk about this blue line on the timeline. You can drag wherever you want. You can drag it to wherever you want, or you could use left or right arrow key on your keyboard to navigate it one frame at a time on your timeline. So for example, if I go to the end of this track right here, if I want to go back to just one frame and trim this, I go just one on the left, and that's just one frame. Or I could go one frame to the right, and that's just one frame. If you want to go all the way to the end of the track, you can just do the down arrow key, you go to the end of the track, or up arrow key to go to left side of the track. That just takes you to the cuts that you have. So now that we have this little 10-second video, what we can do is to bring our song in. All right, so let's go to the music, and just like how you bring videos in your timeline, you can just drag and bring your songs to the audio tracks as well. If I bring this in and zoom out, you'll see this thing goes all the way to 3 minutes. You can again drag it back to where you want, or you could come back here, create your in and out points, and then right there, and then just drag this then. That's just with in and out points. Or you could basically do the razor tool and trim that audio. Since this audio is fairly long and our sequence is just a couple seconds, I would like to use where that beat drops as the beginning of the sequence, and have this cuts to be in each beat drops again. Let me just show you what I mean. So let's just play back this audio together. Right here, if you hear it, let's go back. So that beat drop, I want to have that beat drop in my sequence. So let's go just a little back here. You can just like drag this one, or just go hit on your effect panel and drag it. I would say here, let's establish our in point and let it play. 3. Exactly, another beat drop and out. So now that you have your in and out point, let's go ahead and drag and drop this in here. And if you zoom into your sequence, let's play this back. So see that cut right here? It doesn't have a beat drop. So what I do is I just drag this just a little and bring this back. If you look at your audio sequence, you'll see this drops here. Let's just listen to it together. Let's go back and bring this back a little. If you listen to it, you see? That right there shows that beat drop that we want. So let's go ahead and bring this all the way back, and let's go back and watch this. Beat drop, perfect. Perfect, that sounds good. We can add some more videos to it, but what I'd like to do is to make it even smaller. Let's do this, a beat drop here. I like that beat drop right there. Let's just go ahead and drag this back. You can select on the track, either C razor tool, delete that sequence, or just selection tool and drag this back, and select on this one and drag this one back, and then let's watch it again. Beat drop. Perfect. I might just extend this just a tiny bit. Let's watch it again. Beat drop. That there sounds to be perfect. So razor tool, cut, selection tool, select delete, and you made yourself a video. So there you have a 9-second video using 3 sequences and a song. You can obviously add more videos to your sequence and extend your audio to make your video longer, but I just wanted to show you how to basically create that little 9-second video using basic tools. For example, the selection tool, razor tool, and just dragging and dropping the sequences into the timeline. One important thing to mention, when you first drag and drop a video to your timeline, that video indicates what frame rate of timeline you will have. For example, in these videos that I imported, I shoot them in 120 frames per second, but at 5 times of 24 frames per second. So when I click on one of the sequences and I go to metadata right here, you see that 23.976 frames per second, which is the 24 frames per second. So that is how you basically determine what frame rate of timeline you have. Some people might shoot in 30 frames per second, or a 60 frames per second, or even 120 frames per second using a 4 times of 30 frames per second. So if you have a 24 frames per second timeline, you might be able to drop in a 30 frames per second video, but it will be a little choppy and not pleasing to watch. And that's pretty much it. Now that we have the video, we created the sequence, we can go ahead and export this sequence and post it on social media or for ourselves to watch on our phones. How you can export a sequence is to escape, make sure nothing is selected, go to your file, go to file, export, and export in media, or as it says here, Control M. You select on that. Because I'm running this tutorial on the battery mode, it's a little slower today, so just bear with me. Format, I always keep it at H.264. If you want to change it, you can change it here, but I wouldn't suggest that. There's some presets here. For example, if you drag and drop it, when I post videos to YouTube, I usually select YouTube 1080 because I shoot in 1080. But if you want to use this video, for example, on Instagram, you can just do a mobile device. But since I'm posting this video on YouTube, I'll go ahead and do 1080 YouTube. And then you can also write some comments down and also select the output name. So let's select here, and it takes us to the folders that we have. So I'm gonna have this in this folder and call it Premiere Tutorial. Save. And if you see here, there is a frame per second that it shows you. The sequence frame rate is 24 frames per second. If it was at 30 frames per second, it shows at 30 frames per second. That's good. That looks good. Everything is good. So just go ahead and hit export. And that's it. It's exporting. And you can go ahead and find that video where you saved it. So that's how you export your video or sequence, and you can post that either on your social media, YouTube page, or if you want to show it to someone or send it to someone, that's how you do it. You can change your preset when you export the media to export it with the lighter version, so you can send it to your friends or just carry it on your mobile device, and it takes lesser space. But that's pretty much it. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks again for watching this video. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe. Month of June has passed and I didn't get to my 100 subscriber goal, but July is upon us, guys. July is upon us, and let's get to the 100. I will have a giveaway for the 100 subscribers, and it might just be 100 subscribers, but it's 100 subscribers for me. It really humbles my heart if you subscribe when you watch this video. I was looking at my stat the other day. I have 70% of people watching these videos without subscribing. So if you're one of those, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Enough of asking you guys to subscribe. Turn your notification bell on so you will not miss any of the videos coming out. And with that being said, this video is officially over. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Rebel soul child got a fist ball. I'm a respawn of ancestors and I'm blessed, They are not him, tell him fess up. I get check stub, hella carefree, nothing scares me, hella reckless, yeah.